Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for the crypto market. We're gonna dive in Bitcoin and the major altcoins in this video. I miss you all guys, sorry for not being able to update again regularly as before, but I'm trying my best. So I'm relocating just to let you know, and that's why I'm very overwhelmed and very busy, but I'm still trying to find a time, of course, to keep you update. I'm also trying my best also on the Discord. So basically guys, we are looking at this bull run as an impulse toward the upside. As you know, we have finished this impulse as a potential wave one there, and we're looking for a correction since we have left as this base channel. Once we left the base channel, we are clear, of course, as a bear market unfolding here. And the things has started, of course, as three waves down here for W, a three waves up for X, and three waves down for a wave Y. Reaching the 1-to-1 fib level clearly and starting to seek after here a potential correction. Even can still be a correction in a wave B, because after three waves down, you're looking very likely for three waves up. Now, those three waves can be, of course, a potential wave B or an X. We're going to see them, of course, in the shallow bear market correction that we might get. In this area, we have several probabilities. Now, before diving very deep here in a deep correction, meaning like talking about 30K, 40K, that is still very far. Don't forget that we are still here at the top of this base channel taken from this one too, because if we are considering that we're diving very deep and we are considering kind of like an impulse unfolding, therefore the only way to consider this here is a double 1-2. Again, this is an expanding diagonal. It's not allowed to be a wave 3. You cannot consider it as 1 2 3 4 5 here, and that means this is a double 1-2 in case we are in a very deep correction. That means double 1-2, this is your wave 3. Wave 4, very close to invalidation, by the way. We're very close to it. We didn't took it yet, but we also exactly at the base channel upper line, which is going, of course, to form kind of like a resistance over there, that it might dive us, with the price again for lower. Now, the probabilities, of course, for a potential shallow bear market, as usual, they are still the same. Nothing has changed, but basically we got something potentially finished and unfolded there, and we might start a new wave toward the downside, which is the X here. However, as a W, X, and a Y in a potential wave A, you might be in another ABC there. It can be a wave A there, three waves down, impulse, hitting the channel, the base channel, and we push toward the downside. In another wave, of course, it can be kind of like another WX and a Y, meaning a large WX and a wave Y here unfolding. Your wave Y has to be a zigzag somehow like this, and that means, of course, we might reach our red zone required here for a correction in a wave 2, very shallow wave 2, which is 0.38 minimum requirement at 56K here. And that means, of course, that this correction might end up, in case that we dive deeper, in a zigzag somehow toward the downside, reaching this level. And don't forget, of course, that we're still in the stronghold area here, meaning we might get some rejection in this area, once we take the 0.38 in confluence here, and we start to see something pushing toward the upside. So this is the first priority to consider in case you are pushing downward there. So WX and a Y, the wave Y can be an impulse, correction impulse for a zigzag. This will unfold, of course. The wave 2 might bring us to the perfect time, or I would say the minimum requirement time, and then start the push toward the upside towards the 200K and above. Now, the other probability here for a larger wave B, meaning a little bit higher, and that means the wave B might be a regular flat here, A, B, and a C there. The wave B might be considered here as a diagonal wave A. However, I start to doubt it, because the wave 5 is longer than the wave 3, and that brings us to double 1-2. And that means 3 4 5 4 5 wave A, and then having wave B, and then wave C without taking the high. Okay, it depends how much aggressive this move is going to be. Then, of course, aggressive move wave C towards the downside. The perfect timing would be there. This is a minimum requirement. This is a perfect time, because a deeper correction will take, of course, the longer time over there. But basically, I would say that this can still be open even for higher, for another probability for an expanding flat wave B. It depends again on the aggressivity, of course, of this price. So basically, if we get like 1212, wave 3, 45, 45, then getting wave V, and then another aggressive move here, taking the all-time high, 130k, 150k around it, that is already an all-time high. 3 waves up, zigzag, and then having an aggressive move here. Wave C as an expanding flat to finish, of course, this large 1 ABC wave 2 expanding flat, 200k bull run to unfold and above it, of course. So, of course, this probability right now has to be estimated on the lower or on the micro level in case we are still pushing toward the upside. So let's dive inside it to see what do we have as an answer here from the micro level. So basically today we see, of course, some red. I mentioned this in Discord as well, that we might have topped here in a truncation. I'm gonna dive inside it, but let me explain first. So two probabilities can be over there. ABC finished in 3 waves, ABC another 3 waves, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 5 is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 ending diagonal. Now this ending diagonal, if we dive inside this truncation there, you will realize that we have a very tiny gap over there. Yeah, so we have a very tiny gap. We didn't took the high perfectly, and we start to see a very massive move toward the downside, which show a lot of weakness, and this appears normally after a truncation. Now, that means a truncation means, yes, that this diagonal can be done and finished there, unless, of course, that you might still have a probability for a zigzag there, meaning A, B, and a C. However, this wave B is horrible, right? Today we saw very aggressive downward, meaning if we take the low over here, that means, of course, it's done. We cannot think about it anymore, especially that it looks an impulse. So 15-minute chart here, you can clearly see that this is a large wave 1, 2, and then we have double 1, 2 internally, massive wave 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5, and potentially another 4, 5. However, the wave 4 here, it doesn't reflect any wave 2, so also it's a question mark, so we gotta be careful with it. It can be something turning into correction, but yeah, I suggest that you have to be careful, especially, guys. Don't forget that the base channel, as you can see, we broke it, we fake out, and then we push down within a truncation. So this is, of course, a very clear signal that we are looking for some weaknesses there. It can be possible to recover a little bit, but I doubt it, guys. So we gotta be careful. It's a finished structure somehow here, and we might dive deeper. Now, the next scenario, therefore, opens currently to estimate the double 1, 2, meaning in case we are in a 1, 2 here, 1, 2, and this is your wave 3. Don't forget that once we reach here, this area, which was confirmation for a bull rally here, now it is invalidation of bullish. Yeah, so basically the first test that we need to accomplish here is, of course, this area 75k 933. If this price is reached, of course, the first probability as double 1, 2 here is eliminated. Now, in case that the price even dive toward the downside, because this opened the next probability, which is a potential triple 1, 2 again, like 1, 2, 1, 2, and another 1, 2, and then massive wave 3, which I doubt it somehow, because I mean, why it should be another large 1, 2? It should be like kind of like a very impulsive wave, right? So basically, I doubt it somehow, but to be tested, of course, again in this area. So basically, those are the probabilities right now. The key level is 75k 933. If taken, then it opens directly the price for 71k 735, which is also doubtful, that because it can be a finished correction here as an A, a B, and a C, much more likely, and that we dive for an impulse in a large zigzag for a wave Y as explained on the daily, guys, meaning a W, X, and a wave Y. So yeah, these are the probabilities right now. This is how we're gonna estimate what is going to happen. Of course, bearish has a lot of probabilities over there, especially after the impulse, the truncation, the base channel there, structure finished as well, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and of course weakness is showing up. Yeah, so yeah, very likely to be bearish there for Bitcoin, and potentially it might affect, of course, the whole market as well. Yep, so this is regarding Bitcoin, guys. If we take a look at Ethereum as well, don't forget Ethereum also still in a potential here, large wave 1 and then wave 2 might still be unfolding. Now the wave 2 is still, of course, yeah, I would say is a very large one and very complex. It can be W, X, and a wave Y finished over here, meaning if you were bullish, you're looking here for something toward the upside. It can be the same as Bitcoin, of course, but don't forget that you still have this probability here where you have a potential ABC. The wave C is a 1, 2, 3, and then wave 4 and a wave 5, no invalidation taken. And that means after a potential wave 4, by the way, with this new high here, the wave 4 has to be considered, of course, over there. Yeah, so finished somehow here. And that means if this is a wave 4, we are looking here therefore at a W kind of W, X, and a wave Y, which I doubt it because no balance for a W, X, and a Y. For me, it looks a little bit much more like a motive waves, 5 ways up, which it can be an A, B, and a C here, zigzag toward the upside. And that means, of course, wave B can be unfolding there. Again, the target can still be almost the same. Let me update with the new high. So basically 0.38 can be very likely as well in this area to start to seek some signal of strength in case we are in a diagonal wave A, wave B, and a wave C towards the upside. The same as for Bitcoin, by the way. Yeah. So, but the Bitcoin wave 5 is so much longer than the wave 3, therefore it somehow reduces this probability in a diagonal. So we gotta be careful with it. Yeah, it's not really considerable. So I'm not sure also that we can, I mean, because in Ethereum it's legal diagonal, I would say, but with Bitcoin is not. So I cannot really say that it can be perfect scenario here as a leading diagonal, wave A and then wave B and wave C. However, we're gonna test this, of course. We're gonna see what the reaction is going to be there. As you can see, very massive impulse unfolding as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. Very aggressive move from Ethereum. Especially here, this can be considered as an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, wave 2, another impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 2, and then pushing downward again. However, knowing that the momentum was like reducing there for bearish, I don't know, today it opened very, very massively and very aggressively. So we have to be careful with it. Of course, the things might drop toward the downside for a new low, meaning, of course, wave 5 might still be very likely for a new low for the crypto market and for Ethereum over here. So we'll see how this is going to unfold, guys, but the bearish has a lot of probabilities here. Now for Solana as well, we are looking here at a 1-2, another 1-2 again, potentially. If a wave 3 was unfolding, this is out of context, of course. We don't have any kind of a wave 3 unfolding. It's a very choppy one and very, very corrective. Starting to unfold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse, 1, 2, another 1, 2 potentially, and 3, 4, 5 toward the downside, meaning a large 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 might be unfolding for a new low to reach the $68. And that because, of course, on the 4-hour chart, we might still be in double 1, 2 here, wave 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5 to reach as well even lower for $57. But of course, be careful from simply taking the low there as a trigger of a bull run and then pushing toward the upside. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5, and boom. Yeah, so starting to push for higher there. So I would say be careful within this drop. It is very, very aggressive. We got already potentially here a finished 1, 2. Yeah, very likely to be finished. Let me check also the Fibonacci level as a wave 2. Well, actually it's not taken. So therefore we have to consider this as a wave 4. Wave 4 as an impulse, meaning you are in a potential 1, 2, 3 here. And this is your wave 4 and a wave 5. And then we might still get, of course, a push towards the upside as a wave 2 before we dive deeper 1 2 again, and then 3 4 5 for lower prices. So yeah, very massive drop. Be careful, of course, with the crypto market. It's not looking safe right now for the bulls. Things are still unfolding correctively, and we might still seek after new lows. There's the same is for SUI. As you can see, we have potentially a large 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, and a large 4 here to reply, of course, to this 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Sorry, the wave 4 is looking, of course, here somehow I would say as triangle. So you have A, B, C, D, and an E. Potentially can be the wave E finished over there. Yeah, very shallow wave E, and starting an impulse 1 2, and then wave 3 unfolding toward the downside. So basically 1 2 and then 1 2 3 4 5 can be very likely unfolding here as well for SUI. So be careful with this. Yes, it can be, of course, very surprising and very aggressive, pushing downward again for SUI, guys. So yeah, to be watched. Basically, the target is simply taking a new low there, which means, of course, this low, and it can be a trigger for a bull run as well for SUI. Yeah, very, very massive. Now, in case we are looking still for a triangle, A, B, C, D, and an E here, kind of like, sorry, A, B, C, D, and an E, meaning, of course, the wave D also is bearish and looking for kind of like an impulse correction. Impulse meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the same results. Yeah, we're still looking for lower as well. That it regarding SUI for render, guys. Now, for render, it is looking also as a diagonal. Remember, we're not yet done. We're not, of course, out of the bearish probabilities here. We might still be here after the correction wave B in a triangle A, B, C, D, E. You are finishing this final ABC, potentially as W, X, and a Y. And this might be your wave Y. Over here, finishing up this wave Y. And that means, of course, a 3 ways down and 3 ways up, and then 1 2 3 4 5 toward the downside, unfolding as an ending diagonal. Obviously, render also is not looking very strong, as since of course this impulse, which is doubtful, as a 1 2 3 4 5 starting from the wave 2, this very choppy triangle there, and of course the wave 5 is not properly finished. We have ABC 3 waves. Followed by an impulse potentially here at double 1 2, wave 3, wave 4, and a 5, and potentially 4 and a 5, still unfolding toward the downside. So we gotta be careful. It can be even like several 1 2s here, massive wave 3 4 5 4 5 to finish up here in this red zone, of course, target, which is between the 1.2 and the 1.0 Fibonacci level for render. This is the highest probability, guys, and as you can see, the momentum is still building up towards the downside, so we gotta be careful with render as well. For FET as well, I would say here after finish the triangle wave B or an X, also we're looking for 3 ways down, 3 ways up, and potentially 1 2 3 4 and a 5 expanding diagonal. The only way here to have for FET, in case FET is pushing toward the downside. However, FET still somehow holding the red zone, the area for a wave 4. But don't forget that this is, of course, very risky. It can be a trap, and it can be, of course, an expanding diagonal, which is very rare normally. But we have no other option, because if I take it as double 1 2 here, this is a 3 4 5 4 5 towards the downside, which it can be very, very deep, which is catastrophic, right? So therefore, of course, the best scenario here to have and to estimate first is the expanding diagonal, reaching, of course, the red zone here, and then starting a bull run. However, of course, FET, I know that it looks kind of like an impulse ABC wave 2, wave 3, ABC wave 4. Can be, guys. It can be, but we still need a signal of strength, which is still lacking here, and we don't see any kind of strength so far. Yeah, so the things are still very in red, and we're looking at long candles today, red candles, which it can be, of course, a signal in confluence with Bitcoin that we push toward the downside again. So we gotta be careful again with it. So injective, for injective, guys, also, yeah, very, very, very massive today. So for injective as well, we are looking here at a 1, 2, also 3, 4, and a 5 finished, right? But don't forget that you have here double 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then wave 4 again and a 5 unfolding to cover, of course, those double 1, 2. And that means the wave 4 right now is not at the stop. The wave 4 is there. Once you finished an ABC here, A, B, and wave C finished over there. So basically, this is the drop path that I was talking about it since a long time ago. It has been drawn here, and there you go. We are unfolding it. Yeah, so be careful with it. That's very, very tricky. It took the highest level and then pushing downward again. So basically, this can be, of course, a large wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Looking after a new low trigger for a bull run, of course, around the $3 and below. Of course, we're talking about $2.6. So this might be the bull run trigger, and that means, of course, it requires one more low, guys, before we push massively toward the upside again. So yeah, I would say be careful. Crypto market is looking very angry today, very aggressive toward the downside. All the coins are still required. A one more low also can be a very open scenario there, especially Bitcoin is showing weaknesses. So we gotta be careful, of course. Things might still reach lower prices. Yep, so that was it for the crypto market. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Before you leave, make sure to join our private Discord community. There you will get daily updates faster than YouTube, plus exclusive bonus trading signals for the gold, silver, Bitcoin, and stocks. You can also request one special technical analysis every day and get access even to our only members video on YouTube and also on Discord. And stay ahead, of course, with economic and political news that actually moves the market. And of course, we do regular Q&A sessions, so you can get your questions answered directly in the Discord. And of course, if you're serious about leveling your trading, the Discord link is below in the description and in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.